Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wish's weekly webisodes. I'm Lene Garrick, and today from our friends at Stamperia, we have a fantastic collection that's called Symphony. So if you're a music lover or have a music lover in your life, this one is for you. This is our giveaway card for this episode, so if you stick around, you'll learn how one lucky viewer can win this card to keep or share with a friend. So come play with us. All right, let's take a little flip through. This is Symphony 8x8. There are 10 double-sided sheets, and they are 8x8. And then let's take a look here on the inside front cover. All these little cutouts, little greetings, little things like that for your scrapbooking, your junk journals, your card making, absolutely perfect. And then this one with the little girl playing piano. I love the double clocks, the window, the peeling wallpaper, which is a beautiful rose wallpaper, and then under that you've got this stripe, which is so beautiful, and then you've got a little shelf up here, and then we've got more of that wallpaper with the peeling here. So you could use this part of it where it's not peeling, or you could use this part of it where it's very distressed. And then you've got all of these little cutout elements. You could use this as a sheet of patterned paper, or you could cut out all the little instruments and things like that. I love all the cats in this collection. Beautiful paper here, and then here we've got a little scene. Wonderful for cutting the elements out or just using it as is. On the opposite side, we've got this wallpaper, which is here. And then once again, you've got this border of all the frames, and then you've got the room element, and then a whole nother area here that you could cut out. So this can work as a border, this can work as a border, this could work as a card focal. On the back, we've got our music notes, or sheet of music, and then all the little string instruments that we cut out or use as is. This would make a fantastic border right here. And then I love the collage elements of the string instruments, the music, absolutely beautiful. And then same over here, we've got books like journals and music books and things like that, and photos, and just a wonderful collage. As I said, you could cut these elements out or just use this as it is. Got the fantastic wood, and then beautiful, like almost like a dressing room situation. I love all the bags, the books, the cat, the string instrument, and then all of this little shelving right here. The dress is gorgeous, the shoes, beautiful. Look at the details, even just of the little drawings and things here. And then this room right here, this part of the room, we just have in a larger scene here. All the little cutouts. The opposite side of the cutouts, perfect for adding journaling to. Same with these, and then blank on the other side to add things. More little cutouts, which are also blank on the other side, and then all of these fantastic cutouts. All right, so let's jump right in, and I'm going to show you. Oh, actually, before we jump right in, let's take a look at these die cut. I think we would refer to these as like chipboard die cuts because they are nice and heavy duty. But look, it's got all these little, like the cats. And how many pieces do we have? Not say on the package. There's a lot. You get a lot. All right, and then more with the little kitties. And then clocks. Lots of music instruments, which I love. More with the kitties. And books. Lots of little sayings and things like that. More instruments, flower. I used to know what this was called. What is that? It's the thing that ticks that you keep time to. No, it's not a timekeeper. Okay, and then there. And I love this beautiful chair with the violin. And then lots of like little pin, like a pen for writing, and then the cap to it, which is separate, which I think is nice. And then a cute little stack of boxes with the teddy bear, the window, another clock, piano, lots of little sayings and greetings and butterflies, and more with the pen. And then, yeah, look at all these elements. So fun to play with. All right, so let's jump right in now and take a look at this card that Debbie made. Absolutely gorgeous. This is a 6.5 by 5-inch card. She covered it first with some of that wallpaper that I was talking about. And then along the bottom and the top edge, Debbie added brown fancy border dazzle stickers, okay? She used these right here. You just peel these off, just like that. Perfect for adding. And then this one, these little great borders. And then right here you've got a teal one, and this is from Colorful Thin Line Dazzle Stickers. She used this color right here, this aqua, but they come in this whole collection, you guys, of all these different colors. And they're just, as the name implies, it's just a really nice little thin line that you can add a little bit of color to. Look at that. And then how we like to add them, so I like to anchor it on one side and then just sort of play, you know, as I don't really pull it, but just put a little bit of tension on it, and then put your finger across it and attach it to the other side and trim it. These little pieces right here, which she so cleverly placed, are from right here between these two borders. You get another, let me pull this up, all these little pieces right here. Use them all, they're so beautiful. And then she used the cutouts that had the little blank sides, turned those over, foam taped all of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, then cut out the things like the dresses and the instruments and foam taped those, even the little pen and little pen cap and the kitties on there, just adorable. And then look at the dimension. It's not too much dimension to mail. I would put something over it like a sheet of lightweight cardstock just to give it something, make it smooth. And as long as it's a 1/4 inch thick, okay, less than a 1/4 inch thick, my understanding is that it can be mailed. So you just have to watch your thickness. I've even heard of some people making a little slot that's a 1/4 inch wide, and then if you can fit your card through it, you can mail it. Okay, this next one is one that I made, and this is a center step card, okay? And I used our die cut, our center step die cut cards. So there's 5 of these in this shape. They're already die cut, they're folded. You pull them out of the package just like this, ready to decorate, and there's envelopes included. Or if you have a die cutting embossing machine, you can use the cutting die, which on this one is just slightly different. It has an extra little step on it right here, but it's 6 inches wide and 10 inches long, and so it's meant to go through a 6-inch wide platform die cutting machine. So like your Big Shot or your Gemini Junior is going to go through, and it's very sturdy, very nice. It's not going to get warped on you. So then I added to that a little pocket at the top edge for this little tag. Okay, so when I was taking my paper and covering the card, I started off with this little, it's almost a square, but it's a rectangle in this sort of light blue tapestry wallpaper. And I inked the edges of that with little cocoa bean and my blender tool. And then I glued that down the side and across the bottom and up the side. And then I added a white fancy border dazzle sticker, same one as the brown one I was showing that Debbie used, and just along the top edge. And then I glued it on the sides and the bottom, leaving the top open. There's like a little pocket right here. And then went ahead and just took a piece of cardstock and cut this to 3 inches by 4.5 inches, and then covered that with some of the extra paper I had left over here, a little scrap of paper that I had from here, added another sticker. Here's a little chipboard that I just glued on the top that was sticking out, so it would have kind of a little pull. And then these, of course, are just added from cutouts. And then this is just meant to just slide back in here, and then it'll stick up just at the top of that frame right there. And then went ahead and added the same paper that's up here. I added that to the shoulders of the card after inking it. And then I got to play with the chipboard, and the first thing I did, it was glue this piece right here so I would have enough space to just kind of step over here, glued the chair in place, the cat, and then glued this flower and then foam taped this flower. Now you absolutely wouldn't, if you're worried about a little bit too much height, you could just glue this one as well. I did add a little foam tape to that. So let's talk about glue. I'm using Cosmic Shimmer Specialist Acrylic Glue. We love this one, but Debbie and I also love the Nuvo Deluxe Adhesive. Both are acrylic, both dry clear, both dry with a little bit of flexibility, and they don't get all crispy and crunchy and break off, okay? So that's really important when choosing a nice craft glue. And then Debbie and I like putting the glue in these little applicator bottles with these little tiny nozzles, because you just don't use as much glue that way, and it's quite nice. We like to put these little stainless steel pins in there, and that keeps the nozzle from getting clogged. If you don't use it every day like we do, then those can get clogged really easily. And then down on the shoulders here, I added more from that set of Fancy White Jewel Dazzle stickers. So yeah, fun one to put together. Like I said, you could use this one or you could use the cutting die. They're interchangeable, really. All right, now this one that Debbie made, this is a 6.5 wide, 5.5 inch tall. And for this one, she used that paper that had, let me show you this one. She had kind of the full room. Here we go. She used this one, which I thought was so nice. And then this is a really easy one. She just glued the piano with the little girl right here, left a little space on the right-hand side for the little Let Life Be Like Music. And then she cut out a little butterfly and foam taped that, and then just foam taped the cat right there, inking the edges of the whole thing with a little bit of Velvet Fawn ink and her blender, and just being able to go around like that and just add a little bit of color. Just gives a little shadow to the edge, a little definition. Makes it look a little more finished, we think. All right, our last one, this is one Debbie also made, also 5 by 6.5 inches. Love this one. She inked the edges just to kind of keep it a little lighter weight. She, instead of covering the card from matte, she inked it with teal ink, and then cut her music paper down just slightly smaller than the 5 by 6.5 inch, glued that there. Here's one of the cutouts, and you see here that she matted that with 2 colors of cardstock, glued that to the card front, and then glued, foam taped this one, glued, and then glued this one. Metronome. There we go. That was 3 cards ago. Okay. All right. And then on the inside, we open that up, and then she's actually pieced some paper here. So we've got this paper here with the tapestry, and then the music paper, she took a couple of strips. So the tapestry paper is 3¼ inches wide, and then the music paper just about 1 5/8 of an inch wide. Borders right here. Then let's talk about this piece right here. It's a piece of solid cardstock. She cut this to 8 inches wide. It's 3 inches tall. And then she scored this every 2 inches, okay? And then she also used a little corner rounder on that just to soften those corners, inked the edges with Velvet Fawn and the little blender tool, and then glued on each panel one of the cutouts. And then what it's important to do is you want to glue this so that it's not laying flat. You want to glue it down just on the ends so that you have a little bit of a tent right here. Show you. Like that, so that when you close your card, it pops up. So it's just a nice little surprise when people open it. And it looks so fancy, but it was so easy to do. All right. So you guys, this is what we have. Gorgeous collection. It was really fun to play with this one. There's so many beautiful papers and beautiful elements with it. Definitely check this out. We have a fantastic money saver on this collection, you guys. If you're watching us on our Paper Wishes webisode page, the money saver is right there on the right-hand side. Down below the video, you'll see full color photos of all of the cards. And if you click on them, you'll get very detailed, specific supply lists for each card. So like which ink pad, which sheet of Dazzle stickers we used, all of that. And then if you just are looking for buying one item, just scroll past the photos and you can just see all of the items that we listed sort of in a big list, and you can add all of those directly to your cart. If you're watching us over on YouTube, just look below the video in the description box and you'll see a link that'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page, so you can definitely check out that money saver. So how do we do our card giveaway for this card? Every week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, if I'm hosting Lene Gehrig, I'm doing a card giveaway. So definitely check back on those days and participate in our card giveaway. And how you participate is, you're watching us on our Paper Wishes channel, Paper Wishes webisode channel, just hop on over to YouTube. And our YouTube channel there is called My Paper Wishes. And we ask that while you're there, you subscribe to our channel, you like this video with a thumbs up, and then you leave us a comment. And then we're going to let that just happen for a week, you know, and then you can leave us a comment anytime, but our contest only lasts a week. And then leave us a comment, and then after that week, we will reply to one person's comment by saying, congratulations, YouTube username blank, and then we will give them information about how to claim their card via email. So if you don't know your YouTube username, just go back and look at your comment, because you labeled it with your YouTube user, rather YouTube labels your comment with your YouTube username. It's also on your YouTube homepage when you sign up. So if you want to make sure you don't miss an announcement, go ahead and hit that notification bell on YouTube at the top right-hand corner, and that way you'll know when we're making card announcements or dropping one of the videos like today. So yeah, it'd be really nice if you guys would participate. We love giving away a card every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Well, thanks for joining me today, you guys. This was a fun one to do. I hope you check it out. And don't forget that money saver's right there, and we'll see you in the next one.